Hello, Wojak community. Today is January 30th, 2026, a beautiful but extremely cold Friday morning. Hence, I'm recording this video indoors. One of the main reasons that I invested in Wojak is because of the decentralized nature of this project, just like Bitcoin. Um, yes, if Satoshi Nakamoto reappears after 12 years, and sells his 1 million Bitcoin, he's going to cause a huge impact on the price in the short term. But over the long run, I think the price will recover and keep making new highs. Because Bitcoin has become decentralized enough that no single person, not even the founder himself, could control it. Really, the Bitcoin network belongs to the whole world. I remember in 2017 when I first got into crypto, there was an OG of Bitcoin, Roger Ver. Him and the Jihan Wu, they forked Bitcoin into the Bitcoin Core and Bitcoin Cash. And they started promoting Bitcoin Cash for several months. And for a while, Bitcoin Cash actually went up really high. At a certain point, it was approaching the price, the market cap of Bitcoin Core. But 8 years later, we see that really there's no contest with the original Bitcoin because the consensus of the network is to stick with the longest chain, the one that was the original, the OG. And yes, Roger Ver and Jihan Wu, they were big influencers at the early stage of Bitcoin development. But now you don't really hear about them. You know, right now the champions of Bitcoin are Max Kaiser, the president of El Salvador, and last but not least, Michael Saylor. They're the guardians, the stalwarts of Bitcoin, and also millions of others, holders and participants, promoters of Bitcoin, like Pomp, like myself, like anyone who holds Bitcoin. So it's essentially decentralized. And I see the similarity between Bitcoin and Wojak in this regard. That to this day, I don't know who the founder of Wojak was. I knew the team members, the people who had participated in it, but to me, it's irrelevant to know who they are because essentially all the supplies are already out of Wojak, and the liquidity pool, the original liquidity pool, is locked for 74 years. So all the tokens are distributed to the community, to the world, and it's up to the market to decide whether they want to hold this one or not, to hold the Wojak or not. And this decentralized nature builds trust, in my opinion. Um, because in crypto, as in any investment, trust is essential. There's nothing can compete with the level of trust that a project can have. Bitcoin is number one because it's trustworthy. Ethereum is number two because it is trustworthy. It's proven itself for 10 years. And I trust the original Wojak on Ethereum because for 3 years, almost 3 years, it's been functioning flawlessly. It's working correctly. There's no rug, no manipulation, and no amount of Bitcoins, no amount of Wojaks can be added to the original 69 billion supply. And that is the foundation of the price, that of the potential and the value of the Wojak project. And that's why I invested heavily into this project. Now, with the reason I say this much is because this morning on the X chat of Wojak community, there was a, message by Wojakcoin ETH saying that certain members of the community, they invested into a VAMP Wojak token on Ethereum last week, and this token got rug pulled. So these people are being left, these community members are being left holding the bag of this fake token. And instead of exiting, they decided to double down. And right now, they are asking us, the rest of the community, to bail them out. So, analogy of that is that tomorrow, let's say, I decided, you know what, Wojak is not going anywhere. I'm gonna just invest into this knockoff of Wojak on Solana. So I sold all my authentic Wojak tokens and bought into the Solana token. And this Solana token rug pulled. And instead of just try to recover whatever little money I could have from this rug pull, I go back to the community and say, hey, why don't you invest into this knockoff to bail me out? So, and the reason that they're saying, why did they invest into this knockoff in the first place, was because our liquidity pool, the original Wojak's liquidity pool that was created back in 2023, was too large. They say they put in 5 ETH for this liquidity pool instead of 2 ETH. And because of the liquidity pool was large, it was hard to pump the price. Which is strange because I remember the price of our Wojak pumped to over $100 million, within a very short period of time. And other meme coins like Doge and PayPay, they have far larger liquidity pools than us. We are only in the millions of dollars, maybe 2 million, even less, maybe at this point, because the price has been going down. But PayPay, they have billions of dollars liquidity pool. Yet, it doesn't prevent them from going to billions of dollars of market cap. So I don't really quite understand what they're saying that the liquidity pool is too large, because anybody with any basic knowledge of trading would know that you would want any healthy project, you would want to have a large liquidity pool. We talked about this before in one of my videos. If when price goes really high, you want to add to the liquidity, because if you don't add to the liquidity, there's not going to be enough for people who want to sell to exit. If the liquidity pool is really small, if a whale tries to sell, he can't, because there's not enough liquidity to execute that order. So you can provide liquidity in many ways. Yes, the original liquidity was created on Wojak, on the Uniswap. But every time you buy or sell Wojak on the Uniswap, on either CEX like Gate.io or Uniswap, you are providing liquidity. You're adding to the liquidity. Okay? And the reason that our ratio of market cap to LP is very high is because our market cap has been dwindling, because some people in the community sold their Wojak token, bought into the fake ones. Okay? And that's why for the past few days, we've seen that, the market overall had dropped, but we dropped a little bit more because of, I believe, some certain people, they sold the genuine Wojak to speculate on these knockoffs, and they got rug pulled. So, having a large liquidity pool is not a good reason to not invest in our project. For any, for all it's worth, it should be a good reason to invest in a project. It just shows this project is trustworthy, and when you go in and out, it's going to be smooth. When you try to buy or sell the token, the liquidity pool will have enough liquidity to help you to exit the order. Whales should love a large liquidity pool than a small liquidity pool. And yes, I understand that with a small liquidity pool, you can easily manipulate the price to make it look like that this project is hot. But that's what rug pulls do, right? They manipulate the price, drive the price up with a small liquidity, and they rug pull. So we're certainly not going that way. We're not going to um, use a small liquidity knockoff Wojak to rug pull the rest of the community, and and really screw everybody else. That's what scammers do. you know. So I don't really buy the reason they gave. So, but either way, the reason I talk about why I invest into Wojak is because it's really decentralized. And yes, if Wojakcoin ETH decides to go against the community and decides to, promote another knockoff token, it's his prerogative. I cannot stop him. We cannot stop him. But the good thing is, you know, the market is free. They can decide which token or which Twitter handle has credibility. It doesn't matter how many um, followers you have on X. It really what matters is your credibility, whether you're trustworthy or not. If you know, sell your token to invest into a knockoff, and after you get rug pulled and lost your money, and you try to promote your token to other people with the intent to rug pull them, screw them, I'll just tell you, you're going to lose all your credibility. And once you do that, once people realize that you're dishonest, you're shady, you cannot rebuild that trust. And that's why everything I say in this channel, everything I post on my Wojak token Twitter account, I've tried my best to make sure I'm saying everything 100% with 100% honesty and integrity. First of all, because that's the right thing to do. And second of all, you cannot afford to create any doubt, any dishonesty, any feeling of shadiness in the community. Because trust is all we have in crypto. Okay? Michael Saylor is banking the entire future of MicroStrategy and his reputation on Bitcoin because it's trustworthy. People are buying Ethereum because Vitalik is trustworthy, and the chain of Ethereum is somewhat trustworthy. And I am betting on Wojak OG because it's been trustworthy for 3 years. Okay, I'm not going to trust a project that's already failed, that's only 3 days old, that's already rug pulled once. I'm not going to trust that, and certainly I'm not going to trust anyone who try to sabotage their own team for greed because they think that it's going to be by screwing other people in the community, they're gonna pump their own bags and reap their own reward. Screwing other people. That's not the ethos of crypto. That's not the ethos of decentralization. So I'm not gonna promote this new token at all. I'm not gonna buy it. With this price level we're at right now, I'm gonna buy more of the OG Wojak. And this is really, in my opinion, a once in a lifetime opportunity. And one change I will make is that I will stop promoting Wojakcoin ETH because I really don't know the person behind it and whether he is bought in to the OG Wojak project. It seems like there are a lot of things and people that can influence him. So what I'm going to continue to do is to continue to build up my Wojak token Twitter account. I'm so glad that I, you know, snatched up the Wojak token Twitter handle. Even though I don't have a lot of followers, but that's not what I care about. All I care about is every content that I post is genuine, is authentic, and is honest. And I believe that if you just hold on to authenticity and honesty, people will eventually know you're trustworthy. And I will stick with the 0x50 for forever, because, well, at least for 74 years until the lock comes, the unlocking of the liquidity pool. Um, I just have a lot of raw reactions because I just saw this news this morning. It's really from a handful of people from the community. The majority of, I believe, the majority of the community of Wojak, they share my understanding. We're not going to subsidize other people's, you know, speculation on knockoff. First of all, if you buy into one of the knockoffs, that itself is an act of betrayal. You know, I would not even want to be associate myself with traders. Who would want to associate it with, especially when you do it in such a underhanded way. Like, I didn't know about this news. I didn't know about people investing into this knockoff beforehand. When they were making these investments, they didn't consult the community. They didn't make an announcement to the community. They just did it in secret themselves. And once they lose money, they're asking the community to help to bail them out, which is, it's absurd, for no better words. So this is all I have for today. Again, I'm just processing this raw reaction to this news by a very handful minority of the OG investors, I guess, of Wojak. I think, I'm gonna view them from now on as the Roger Vers and the Jihan Wus of the Wojak. If they want to branch off, bless them. But I'm gonna continue to build the original Wojak, and I believe the authenticity and honesty is gonna eventually attract more demand. The price is not going up. It's not because of large liquidity pool. It's because demand is low. Demand is low because we have people, big whales. The original whales. They sold much of their bags to buy into, to speculate on knockoffs. And the good thing about these OGs is that they probably sold the majority of their OG Wojak already. So I cannot see whether they're gonna sell more to crash the price more. If they do, great. I'm still waiting for the $5 million market cap to buy more. So I don't suggest anyone to rotate, using their word, to rotate into this new Wojak token. To me, this is this is just absurd. It's a disaster waiting to happen. I'm not parting with my OG Wojak at all. Okay, this project has been proven for 3 years. I'm not gonna trust the 3-day project that is already rug pulled and run by shady people who doesn't mind backstabbing their own community. So that's all I have for today. Um, just want to uh, you know ask people. I created a Wojak time chat group on Discord and on Telegram. So, anyone who wants to vent, to talk about, to discuss, let's congregate there. I'm going to post it on my Twitter handle in the description so people can find it. Okay? Tomorrow I'll come up with a new video to talk about this more. Thank you guys so much. I will see you guys later.